Hi, my YouTube family. It's a pleasure being back with you guys again today. And today I have a video, and it's in reference to the importance of protecting yourself when you go to a funeral, when you go to a cemetery, when you go to a hospital. And as I'm always stating and repeating it, that it's very, very important to protect yourself and cleanse yourself, especially if you visit these places. These places are frequent a lot of the times by lower entities. We might find a good spirit here and there, but most of the time we find around hospitals, cemeteries, and funeral homes, and even churches, lingering spirits that have refused to cross over, spirits that are still in the limbo or are confused, that they are not aware that they have passed on. So when we go to these places, it's very important that we protect ourselves, especially covering your head and the back area. I recommend that if you go to a hospital or if you go to the cemetery or either of the places that I've mentioned, you can always carry with you, or prior to leaving your home, put some cascarilla or a cross of cascarilla in the back of your head. Or I like to even powder my body with cascarilla. Not too much. I'm not saying turn yourself white with cascarilla, but to rub some on, or have some in your car or in your purse. So after you leave the place, you can always cleanse yourself. I always carry with me a bottle of Florida water with some fresh ruda inside. And this I use when I go to the cemetery to take flowers to my mom and dad. After I leave, I cleanse myself with this. This is to make sure that no one follows me home. There are some spirits that normally like to follow, especially if you're a medium. If they know that you can see them or hear them, they like to follow you home. So it's very important that you cleanse yourself. And always, when you're going to enter a cemetery, always say that you're just visiting, that you're just passing by. And as you leave, this is what I'm used to doing. When I'm about to leave, before I reach the exit, you throw 3 pennies and say thank you. I thank them and I pay them for allowing me to come into their home. And when we go there, we're sort of like invading their space. It's like going to somebody's house without knocking. So I always say, if you're in Santeria, you say con la bendición de Ya, or asking Ya for permission. I usually ask Barón, el Barón del Cementerio. You ask for permission to enter the cemetery. You can do it mentally. You don't have to speak it out. You do it mentally. And you say, I'm just passing by. And do whatever you have to do and leave. I also recommend do not exit if possible. Because normally cemeteries have 2 and 3 and 4 exits. If you enter through one door, leave through another. I've never liked to leave the same way I come in. If you go in through one door or gate, leave through another door, and you throw your pennies, you pay them the respect, and you say thank you, and then you cleanse yourself. Now we go to when you go to a hospital. In hospitals, like I said, normally you will see a lot of souls. Souls that have refused to recognize that they have crossed over. So what happens is they stay lingering around in the hospitals, and they absorb energy from people that are sick, because when you are sick, your vibration lowers, and these entities also attach themselves to you and draw out your vital energy. So that's why it's very important that if you have someone ill in the hospital, it doesn't matter what it is that they have, cleansed them. So when they leave, they don't take any negative energy with them. And whatever was with them stays there. Whatever illness stays there. You don't want to take that home. When I go visit someone at the hospital, I always cleanse myself afterwards. And I always cover my head. That way I'm protecting myself from absorbing energy, and from others that are ill absorbing my energy. Because sometimes when you leave the hospital, you will feel drained. And that's because the patients that are there, especially the ones that are very weak, patients that are in ICU, remember, energy expands. So when you walk into a hospital and there's all these sick people, they're going to be, it's almost as if they're fighting for your energy, for your vital force. So they're going to be pulling at you. So if you don't protect yourself by covering your head or by rubbing some cascarilla on you, you can feel drained after leaving the hospital. So always cleanse yourself, and when you get home, prepare a simple spiritual bath with cascarilla, basil, ruda, rompesal, whatever you have on hand that is to remove negative energy, you use that to cleanse yourself. Another place where souls frequent is churches. This is the last place from the funeral home prior to be taken to the cemetery. They pass through the church. A lot of the souls stay there. That's why it's a lot easier to pick up a spiritual attachment from a church than from even a cemetery or any other place, because spirits tend to accumulate there. That's where prayer is. So they tend to go there to seek prayer, to seek clearance from that confusion that they're going through. Because when a person passes away, they're in a state of confusion. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're at. And some, if they were not a spiritual person while they were alive, if they were not someone that believed in God or some sort of faith, they tend to feel lost until they realize that they have crossed over. That's why when somebody passes away, it's very important prayer. Prayer helps the spirit elevate. The misas in church. You go to a church, you pay the priest, and they'll do a misa. A spirit that has, per se, committed suicide hasn't crossed over. Misas help them cross over. So these are the places that when you go to, it's very important that you protect yourself. Hospitals, churches, funeral homes, and cemetery. Whenever I visit any of those places, I always make sure that I cover my head. It's sort of precaution, but also I feel that I pick up less negative energy when I dress in white and when I cover my head. I feel more protected because I feel that my spirits are all around me and they're closer to me. I feel it's a lot easier for your spirits to see you. That's why whenever, even if I have to go to a funeral home, God forbid, I don't want to go nowhere near, but I like to dress in white. And when I do dress in white, immediately when I go in, the soul of the person that has passed away, they immediately sit next to me and they tell me, you could see me. Because I get this all the time from other spirits. They know that I could see them. They know I'm aware of them. But you see, I'm dressed in white. They immediately come to me. They don't go to anybody else. I've never heard them sitting by anybody else. Even people that are sensitive, they come to me. The white attracts them. And when I say attracts, it attracts enlightened beings, spirits that are of light. So when you go to these places, it's important to protect yourself. And after you leave, cleanse yourself. I hope this video helps you. And like I always said, all my videos is to share some light and to help you to protect yourself and have the knowledge that you need to have when you're on the spiritual path or when you're not on the spiritual path. These are things that are important to know. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you, and love and light to you all.